everyone. Here we are live again on Uncharted Conversations. Another week has gone by. Here's another Wednesday.
Yes.
We're back.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, everybody. It's me, one of your co-hosts, Matthew J. Haas of Haas Paranormal, and my lovely co-host, Miss Josie Haas. How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm tired. I'm tired from work, but I'm gonna go through the motions, and I'm excited because we have a really cool guest to introduce everybody. I can't wait to introduce her to our audience. But before we introduce her, because I'm excited, she has a really awesome background, and she should really take a bow because of her all her certifications and what she does in the field. It just really amazes me what these mediums go through as far as their knowledge and their learning of their abilities and stuff. And we're highlighting psychic mediums and their abilities this month, in the month of June.
Great topic.
It's a great topic because all mediums don't do the same thing. They all do different things. They have all different personal beliefs, and they all do, they all have different abilities. There's just like psychics, there's regular psychic mediums, you have people who are just into it for the tarot card reading. You have, a whole bunch of different things. Trance mediums that actually let, spirits communicate through their bodies and stuff like that. People who do readings. Mm-hmm. And, it gets pretty extensive as far as what they do. So I thought it'd be a great topic for Uncharted Conversations. I want to welcome our audience to our show. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And before I start rambling on, let's get the boring stuff out of the way. Where can everybody watch us?
You can watch us on Facebook, and you can watch us on YouTube.
Yep. If you haven't subscribed, guys, please subscribe kindly. If you haven't already, it'd be great. We just started out this show recently, and I think it's going to be a good hit. So far, it's been going really good. So subscribe, share, get the word out, word of mouth, networking would be great. What else? We have a website. What's our website?
With the Haas Paranormal.
Haas Paranormal.
www.haasparanormal.com.
All right. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and get our guest in here. I want to give a little background about what she does, and I hope I do her justice. We have Miss Kathrine Sorilos. I hope I pronounced her name correctly. If I didn't, I apologize. I'm just learning her last name tonight. All right. So her background says she's been practicing Psychic Trance Medium for over 25 years. It's a long time. Very experienced lady, very sweet lady too, for the short time I've known her. She is also an ordained minister, a parapsychologist, a demonologist, and a clinical hypnotherapist. So I hope that she doesn't hypnotize us during the show. So she has spent multiple years in the paranormal field as an investigator and researcher. She has also appeared many times on national Greek television. She's Greek, by the way, which is great. Vice, Netwix, and numerous radio shows explaining about the paranormal, our psychic medium abilities, and ghost haunting. She continues her studies on herbalism and crystal therapy, and also credited with multiple degrees, including a diploma in parapsychology, which is awesome. And honors diploma in demonology, which is cool. Advanced certificate in clinical hypnosis, past life regression, certificate in higher self connection, and psychic development, certificate in psychodynamics, certified Reiki master teacher as well. My God. Lady, take a bow. I want to get her in here.
That is a pretty impressive resume. Yeah. That's amazing.
Oh, you're so cute, guys.
Hey, how are you? Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
And finally meeting you guys face to face.
Yeah.
Even if it's virtual.
Yeah. Well, we've been voice chatting back and forth, a lot, over other projects and things.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, which I greatly appreciate you doing that, by the way. The readings you gave over the pictures and stuff that I sent over to you. I was really impressed because I didn't give you a lot of info, and you were
you were spot on.
You were so spot on, especially with the brooch. because
I'm so glad she did not take it
I
home.
know. I'm still a little obsessed with it, to tell you the
when
I
you
know.
said that, I never told you that about her, and she was obsessed
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, it was like it was absorb, like wanting. It was like calling out to you, "Take me home, take me home, wear me, take me home." That's what I was getting in my mind.
It is. I was telling Matt, we were there on Saturday night, and I'm like, well, this is my brooch. I bought it, and I'm taking it home, and I'm going to wear it. And Matt's like, no,
it's for the
you bought
museum.
it for the museum. And I'm like, no, but it's mine. I got to wear it. I got to wear it.
Yeah, but when you told us like what this woman that originally owned it, that binded it with her soul and her blood, and like possibly even with her skin, and I was just like, oh my god, that's creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I could feel her whole essence in there, and like a lot of hate, a lot of pain, a lot of tears, and like because it's a mourning for the widows, it's a brooch for that, but it was like it was alive.
Yeah.
And it was trying to find another host to latch onto, and then when you told me your wife wanted to take it, I went
Yeah.
no.
No, I said you can't wear it.
Yeah,
You're going in the museum.
He was insistent that it was going back in the case and that it wasn't coming home with us.
Yeah.
So
and real quick too, with the scrying mirror, I wanted to open the back.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see what kind of like manufacturer made it. Like I was trying to find a signature and what kind of craftsmanship went into it. So I was trying to do more research with that. But then when you told me don't open the back, I was like, I'm glad I didn't, because I was really tempted to open the back to try to get more research. And I was like, no, I'll close it.
Yeah, because sometimes what happens with these objects, if they've got an attachment, it's like it's sending messages to our subconscious, like, take me, open, take me home with you, or open up the back. It's just like giving you commands on what to do so you can release or unleash whatever's in there.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you guys didn't do anything.
we definitely planned on binding the darker,
the mirror,
evilest objects that we have, because again, we're doing more research about these items that we've collected, so we want to be careful and not open Pandora's box.
Exactly. And you did put up there that you got some names about the brooch.
Yes.
With your EVP sessions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we're actually amazed
that was awesome.
We kept getting we use an app called the EchoVox. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Yep.
With ITC, and I have it on a tablet, and I have a Bluetooth speaker that I use with it, and we put it across the room, and we were just sitting very quietly. It was just me and her for the night, and no one else around, and we were getting stuff around the brooch. We had a man with an accent, very thick accent. We couldn't tell if it was maybe Irish or British,
right?
But very deep accent saying "grave" over and over, so clear. And I was like, there you go. Because like with what you explained, grave would make sense.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, we got the name Ed, and we got Katie.
Right. It was Ed who had said grave.
Who had said
he kept saying grave.
And Katie is an Irish name. So I'm thinking, it's definitely hitting on something.
Oh, yeah. It must have been the couple, and she must have been the owner of the brooch.
That's what I think. Yep.
Yeah.
I got out of it.
All right. So enough about our stuff. We're here for you. This is your moment. This is your spotlight. Okay. And how about you tell our audience a little bit, how did you start to realize when you had these abilities? How old were you when you figured, all right, there's something going on here. I must explore this further. What got you started thinking that you had the gift that you have?
Okay. It all started when I was very young, at 11 years old. So I always used to feel that something was always following me. Like I used to come home from school and I used to feel a presence behind me. And as a kid, you get scared. And especially if you don't have anybody like we do now to guide our children and to guide people and help them. In those days, they were a bit, they wouldn't talk about the parents. And so I was too scared to tell my parents, I feel like someone is behind me. And I used to walk to school and back, and I used to whistle. Or I used to sing to myself. and I used to run home because I was always feeling a presence behind me. And then one night I was sleeping over an auntie's house, and she said, well, I was sleeping through the night, and she said to my mom the next morning that doors and the toilet seat was going up and down and moving. And she thought I was possessed, my auntie.
Oh no.
So she thought, oh, something's going on. She's possessed. Because things were moving. They didn't know what telekinesis was at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And so they took me to this monastery where they were doing exorcisms there. So I witnessed my first exorcism at the age of 11. Like,
oh wow.
At a Greek monastery, and they had these ladies on the floor, and the priests were doing the exorcisms. But that was so intense that I couldn't handle. I could pick up everybody's emotions in there, and I could pick up whatever was going on with that girl. Especially one of the girls, I felt connected to when the priest was exercising her, and like I could feel her whole body just burning up. And I couldn't 11 years old, I couldn't handle all the intensity. I didn't know what was going on. So I left out of the church, and I fainted. And instead of my auntie saying, oh, what happened, she turns around to my mum and says, oh, I told you she's possessed. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah. Right. So lucky there was a great priest there that was, he was actually a monk, and he had studied overseas in America, I think it was America. This is going back many, many years ago. And he had the knowledge of psychology and parapsychology. So he turned around and said to Mum, there's nothing wrong with your child. She's gifted. So he gave my mother a number, and I went to this institute where they taught psychodynamics. I did psychodynamics at the age of 11. With psychodynamics, they taught us how to, because we are born with we all have psychic abilities and we all have spiritual abilities, right? Those two go hand in hand. We are born with them. One's written in our DNA, our psychic abilities, and our spiritual abilities, we are born with them. We develop them as, how you see little kids talking to the wall or talking to the ceiling. It's from day one since they are born, right? So with that institute, what they did, they taught us how to develop our psychic abilities. So through that, I learned how to do self-hypnosis, telekinesis. Telekinesis and psychokinesis is the same thing. Remote viewing, psychometry, and a lot of other different things. And then later on, I developed my spiritual abilities doing higher self-connection, doing the Reiki, doing different things. So, that was at the age of 11. Then at the age of 15, I had my first real operation. And that was at the later on, just to jump into that, apparently later on when I grew older, I found out that both of my parents had psychic gifts, right? And my granddad on my mum's side, but he never used to say it. He used to know the language of the fairies, apparently, but never spoke about it in the village because they would have thought he was crazy. This is going back in the olden days in a village in Greece. Yeah. And because he had a high position in the village, he wouldn't talk about it. So we come from a bloodline, apparently, from something magical. So, but they never used to speak about it. I found out about my granddad a couple of years ago that he used to speak to the fairies. Yeah, but they never spoke about it. And my first operation was at the age of 15. I was a friend of mine. Her father committed suicide in his garage, right? And we were next door. We were a couple of doors down, so we were good friends around the neighborhood. And actually, it was my mother her mum called my mum and my dad to come over and help. And my mum was the one that cut off the skin, oh, bloody hell, the rope.
Oh, the rope,
Oh, okay.
like the noose.
Yeah.
Yeah, the noose.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry guys. I was
No,
thinking half Greek, half English
yeah.
there. So she cut off the noose, but they never spoke about the fact that he committed suicide. So no one knew about it. Carrie did, the daughter, that was her name. She knew about it, but she never spoke
How
about
old
it.
was he when that happened?
He was he must have been, her dad must have been in his 60s, 65.
Okay.
Because they had children at a very old age.
Mm-hmm.
So he was way older than the wife. So he must have been 65 because he was quite young.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, and after the 40 days, they couldn't understand why he committed suicide and why he did it, because they couldn't find a note, they couldn't find anything. And then Kerry goes, can you come over my house, because I'm feeling a bit scared, things like that. So I went over her house. I was sleeping in the same bed, and all of a sudden I was feeling something pull my covers. The usual thing that happens in a paranormal thing, someone pulling your covers. And I would like pull them up again, and then I get pulled back again. And I went under my covers, and I'm going, Kerry. I'm awake. She was fast asleep, and then I'm just gone like that under the covers. And then there's her dad, like full formation. And I'm like, oh my God. And he just said, I don't have time. I've only got 2 things I want to tell you. I want you to tell my family I'm sorry. And I'm explaining everything in a note that fell in under the old fridge in the garage. And then he was gone. So I've woken up Kerry, and I said, let's go to the garage. She goes, why, what's wrong? I said, let's go to the garage. So I said, let's pull the fridge, and I'll explain later. So we pulled the fridge, and underneath was the note of her dad explaining that he had terminal cancer, bone cancer, and he couldn't handle the pains anymore. And that's why he took his own life, and he apologizes for that. It was extreme, and like she got scared. She thought, oh my God, you're a witch, how could you see things like that? And then she just sort of stopped talking to me after that. So being the paranormal has got its good things and its bad things, you know what I mean? People look at you funny, especially in those days.
Yeah, I know, especially like the family members that don't take to the paranormal that well, and that aren't open to it as much as we are.
Yes.
And they don't have the understanding like we have. And, because like I have a sister who is kind of a skeptic, and whenever we talk about it with my mom, my sister just like doesn't really say much about it. She'll just sit there and go, So it's like,
sometimes I think
awkward.
Yeah, I think the skeptics are the ones that are more scared than anything.
Probably, yeah.
It's funny you say that, because I always think that in my head about them. So I'm like, honestly, I think they would probably always be scared if they had an experience, because I don't think they'll know how to react to it.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're more afraid of, because they've always been a skeptic their whole life. So if they have that experience, how are they going to explain how they react to something like that?
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, trust me, as a psychic, because I'm a trance medium as well, as a psychic medium, I debunk a lot of things when we go out on an investigation. I'm not like your usual medium that goes, oh, I hear voices, oh my God, all this, all that. No, I will debunk things, because that's the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
That's cool. You do that. Yeah. But we just I just want to thank our listeners and viewers that are in the chat. We have a lot of people in there.
Yeah.
So I just want to I want to give a big shout out to Candy and Derek Slater are in there. They're
Say hello.
Committee and stuff. So I want to say hello to them. Wendy Conover is in there. Elaine Curtis. We have Heart Slow Joe. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but all right. And we have Jenny Sullivan Sanyasi, I think.
Yes, you said it right. You said it right. Those 2 girls, Elaine and Jenny, they're both in Ireland, and they've stayed up just to watch your show, guys.
That's great. Thank you.
I always want to make sure that I give a shout out to the people who are listening, because you are up with ungodly hours on your side of And I so much greatly appreciate you being on our show because it's like super late and you're like a warrior. And I can't even, I don't know how many times.
No, guys, I'm glad because I'm loving it. I am. It's awesome. And I'm not feeling sleepy.
All right, good. No, we're energetic.
Yeah, definitely.
We're using our energies, our psychic energies, and this is great because we have some great topics to discuss with Kathrine tonight. So she shared with us a video clip that we're going to share with everybody in a little bit. One of the things that I got interested in having her on our show is ectoplasm.
I'm not sure.
How do you pronounce
I thought it was ectoplasm.
Ectoplasm.
In the word is ectoplasma. Which means it's people call it ectoplasm, but ectoplasma comes from the Greek word outside the object. The plasma is the creature. Plasma is the being, right? Okay. So it's outside the being. So a manifestation outside the human being, and manifesting another being.
Okay.
Another object. So that's what ectoplasma is.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I wanted to have that topic on our show because there's a lot of misinformation or misguidance as what that really is in the field, because people think that just because they come across like a little bit of ooze or something that like they think, that's ectoplasma.
Plasma, yeah.
You did. You were saying it correctly. I was probably saying.
You were.
Yeah.
Or you can call it ectoplasm or ectoplasma.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing.
Call it ecto for short. How about that?
Ecto, that's good.
Yeah. I like the license plate in Ghostbusters, Ecto 1.
Ecto.
Right?
Actually, yeah, like people always thought that after Ghostbusters, it was like a gooey, greeny thing, with the ectoplasma. But it's been around. I would say they were doing them in the Victorian times, right? Like an experiment, and they would use physical mediums to do it. But in those days, with seances, and in those days, I believe some of them did have a manifestation, but most of them were trying to trick people or trick the audience or trick the psychologist or the parapsychologist by actually doing like putting a glove on them because it was dark and you couldn't see and you only had the candlelight. So all of a sudden a glove would manifest or a cheesecloth. Or it's very rare for a medium. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's very rare for a medium to actually manifest a being.
Yeah, because it takes years and years of practice, if I'm not mistaken, to do that.
Not only that, it takes years of practice. It's supposed to be just the one physical medium. Right. Okay. It's supposed to happen at if you're going to be doing a seance, right? It's supposed to be happening in the same place that you do it every time. You're not supposed to change the place you're doing it. The same hour, the same people, your group, your soul group, the people that you are connected, so the energy can be boosted. So it's like praying, like for instance, Our Father who art in heaven, right?
Right.
How many thousands and thousands and thousands of years has that prayer been said? And how many thousands and millions of people say it all the time? So imagine the energy that's in that prayer. That's what happens when it comes to the physical medium. Same place, same time, same people. And that gives it the boost of energy to be able to actually either the spirit to come into this medium and speak through them, right? And it's not just one spirit, there could be 3 or 4 different spirits coming through. And let me tell you something, those physical mediums don't live for a long time. Because their insides, can you imagine the insides of your body, your heart, your liver, your intestines, just squashing up, 2 beings in one body.
Right. So
that's why some
squeezing the juice out of your organs.
Exactly. And a lot of them come out with issues internal and external.
Right.
And like even I've heard of people like with broken bones on the inside and issues with most of them die from a heart attack
Oh wow.
at a very young age.
Yeah. Wow, that's
So
great.
yeah,
And ectoplasma is also like it's the chemicals that come out of your body, correct? Like,
exactly.
right.
Exactly. It's the chemicals it's what's it called? I can't remember the word in English, but it's the inside. It's the inside of your the liquid. It gets liquefied from the inside of you, coming and manifesting in on the outside. Like, can you imagine like steam, something like that?
Right.
Yeah. It's like everything that's your it could be from the water that's in your body. It could be from the blood that's in your body. It could be from the plasma that's in your body. So you're actually manifesting your being on the outside.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, the ectoplasma gets really in depth as far as like what it's about, what it's made of, how it comes out of you, and like how you describe the environment and the type of environment you got to be surrounded in, like
well, it's like the skull experiment that we were learning about,
right?
How they did it with the same people, the same time, the same place.
I don't know if you ever heard of the skull experiment from Skull, England.
No.
Like I think it happened around in the early 90s, maybe late 80s, early 90s. They first tried to start it out in the late 70s. Robin Foy was the psychic medium, Robin Foy, who I mentioned to you in private conversation, one of the founders of the experiment. And they wanted to take a scientific approach to showing everyone what abilities that psychic mediums had, as far as whether they were a trans medium, whatever abilities they had them in a room just like you described,
right?
But they had
Controlled
everything like in a scientific manner. Like they made sure like their hands and feet were tied so that nobody was cheating and nobody was faking anything. They didn't have any cameras because according to the mediums, the spirits didn't like certain equipment.
Yeah, they don't.
Right. So they only wanted it done a certain way, so they were guided through their spirit guide, how to go about it. But they even had like the lighting a certain way in the room with like certain infrared.
It's usually the red infrared light, and the medium, the trance medium or physical medium, because there's a difference between trance medium and a physical trance medium, needs to be hidden away.
Yeah.
Or covered away. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, so I learned a lot about that through Robin Foy, and
really
it was a great interview. If you ever want to watch it, it's on.
I'll watch it.
It's on the Strange Oddities podcast.
Okay.
Channel, so it's archived there. But it was a great interview because I learned a lot about the ectoplasma through him and the experiment, and the great abilities that people have like through the trance medium and stuff like that. But can you explain to our audience what exactly a trance medium is? Because I think that's another misguided and misinformation that's out there in the field. Maybe you can explain a little bit about what trance mediumship is.
Okay, a physical medium is when you. Before we go on to that, another thing I wanted to add to with the physical mediums in those days, and I don't know if they do it now, when they were actually letting spirits come through and take over the body and manifest the ectoplasma. They used to weigh the physical medium before, and then weigh her during that time when she was actually manifesting the ectoplasma. She would weigh less during the experiment. So it was really weird. And then she'll go back to her weight again after that.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. And we're gonna play a video clip in a little bit. I want to show everybody what you shared with us. We'll narrate the video before we play it.
Okay. Now, the difference is the physical medium is when she actually allows her body to become the vessel, and the souls, the spirit, to take over and speak through her. And usually it happens, they speak in different voices. Like actually, they can mimic the voice of the spirit. So it's like hearing the actual spirit speak through them.
Right.
To me, what a trance medium is, because I'm a trance medium, but trance medium goes into like a hypnotic state, and it's the same as a physical medium. They can't speak through you. That's if you allow it.
Okay.
It's like going into both mediums, physical mediums and trance mediums, go into a hypnotic state. Now, a trance is like the communicator. I don't let, as a trance medium, I've had in my past spirit trying to take over, and I was like, nope. If you want to talk to me, we can have a two-way conversation, right. and I will pass on the message. Because it was really painful when it first happened, and it hit me when it was trying to take over and speak through me. I was like, what's that? Where are you coming from? So so that's there's not much difference. There's not much difference in between a trance medium and a physical medium. One's lighter than the other one. That's why the trance medium is in a lighter state than what the physical medium. The physical medium is allowing it. Not that the trance medium is not allowing it, but a trance medium can actually speak with the spirit and pass it on.
Wow. That's
in a hypnotic state. Thank you. That's okay.
Oh, thank you for that definition. That was great.
That's okay.
Great, very informative. What have you had multiple spirits at once? Maybe could try to take over you a little bit, like during a trance, kind of thing, or like do more than one try, or
the first time it actually happened, I was 25. I had gone over to a friend's place to help her because apparently someone had put a hex on her, a curse. And she found objects in one of her pot plants. So this is me at 25, like, I can help. No worries. So who forgot to cleanse and ground and do me? So here I am, picking it up, putting it in the salt, binding whatever's there, throwing it in the water, in the sea, and we're done. I get home, and I have never felt so scared in my life. That was I felt like my soul was dying. Whatever was there that was attached to that thing, it was dark. It wasn't human. It was an entity that was really dark. I won't say demonic because that's a really big word, right? Not everything's demonic, right? But it was the most evilest thing I've ever felt and came across. I've come across two evil things in my life. This one was really that was really evil. It was like actually trying to take my soul out of my body and take over mine completely. I could feel my soul actually slipping away. Wow. And I said to my ex-husband, then I said, I think I'm dying. I think I'm dying. I feel another presence in my body. There's something in here that's not supposed to be in here. What's going on? So he goes, did you cleanse? Did you do that? I said, no, I didn't. He goes, so he helped me cleanse, and because I couldn't even get out of the bed. I could not move.
Wow.
So that was one of the intense experiences, and one of my first experiences.
That was definitely intense.
Yeah,
it was. And after that, what happens is I feel as soon as someone comes for a reading, because I do readings as well. I do tarot readings, I do psychic readings, spiritual readings, and I do mediumship as well. So when until I learned how to control the spirit, because they get so excited to pass on the message. Sometimes they don't. Like sometimes they just sit around and just sit like this and think, I'm not going to talk to you. I don't know you. As they are when they're alive, that's how they are when they're dead. Nothing changes.
No,
if they're a stubborn mule, they're a stubborn mule.
Yeah.
And you get nothing.
Right.
And I feel the minute that they die, I feel exactly how they died, the impact. Like if they've died from a heart attack, all of a sudden my heart just clenches and I can feel the heart attack in my body. And that happens every time I do a mediumship reading. And the thing is, like, they're seeing me open like that, they will try and come through and talk without my permission. I've never had multiple trying to come through. I've had usually it happens like one trying to take over. But no, I stopped that because it was really hurting my solar plex, because they were usually trying to come through my solar plex, because that's where all the information comes, and that's where your soul lives, and that's where your soul enters, even when you astral travel. So it was trying to come through there, and the impact was so intense, so painful. So yeah, I sort of thought, no, I can't do this. I can be a light trance medium, and actually we can speak, we can communicate, but I'm not letting you take over.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. No, that's pretty tense. Wow.
It is. Yeah.
But going back to your story about when you were laying in the bed, with the sheets and you were being pulled in bed, it reminds me of the things that we talk about, because she always picks on me about how could I sleep with all the covers, like during the summer and even winter, with all the covers all over me.
Always.
Because I'm always afraid of something grabbing my feet.
You tuck it under your feet.
Yeah, watch too much TV, Matt.
Because I've always just, like, there are things that go bump in the night, and you just never know when things are gonna,
Exactly. Hey, I still sleep like that. Thank you very much.
All my life, I don't know why. It's just that, I guess that comfortableness of, it's like a protection thing, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was like, I was sweating last night. I said, well, take the covers off. It's like, no.
Yeah, like in the movies when you look under the covers and you're gonna see something down there.
And it's one eye looking up the covers, going, I can see ya.
Right. So, all right. So, before we were talking about ectoplasma, I'm gonna play the video clip. Hopefully, I can play it without messing our good thing here. So if I do it wrong, I apologize, but I'm gonna
No, that's fine. Go right ahead.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. I'm gonna share.
Okay.
Let's see. Share.
You don't mind if I have a cigarette while we're doing this?
No, not at all.
Okay, it's vape.
Yeah. And it's not ectoplasma.
No.
All right, here we go. I hope everybody can see that. Gonna go ahead and hit play. Well, how about can you narrate a little bit, like what's going on first, like in the video, like who's who?
Okay.
And set up the scene for us.
All right. Well, I was going to talk in Greek there. Sorry. Jesus Christ. That was the team I was in Greece from 2014 till 2018, because I left from Greece in 2018. And I sort of stayed on with them even up to 2020. They were a great team. They were called PRC, Paranormal Research Crew. Now the team has totally come apart, and two of the team members that are in there are taking part in the WLGH as well.
Right.
They're the NPI. They're one of the Greek teams that are taking part. Now, in that video, we have gone to a place that we've been called to an investigation. It was a private investigation, private home investigation. We have a lot of those in Greece, where they call us in. And as soon as we walked in the house, this lady has got an altar in front of her door with all these different deities, right? All these different gods. And I've walked in and I said to her, what you've caused here is like a portal. You don't put all the deities in one table. They don't like each other. They don't. It's like having chaos in this house. And she was really sick, and apparently she was sick because she used to belong to a fraternity of the Freemasons.
Right.
And the reason why she called us was that apparently she had issues in the house of things moving and doors closing, the usual stuff that happens at a paranormal home.
Mm-hmm.
But she called us because after she left the Freemasons, all the males in her family were getting sick and dying.
Oh boy.
Her daughter's husband got really sick. So she didn't have sons, she had daughters. So all the male cousins were dying. So everything that belonged to her side in male form was dying. So she, off the record, because she didn't say everything on video, off the record, she told us she belonged with the Freemasons and that she left and she hid away. And she was used as a physical medium to open up in rituals to open up portals.
Oh wow. That's crazy.
So, and that really took a downfall on her body.
Oh boy.
Like she was walking around, like she couldn't walk around much. She was walking with a cane sometimes. That had a toll on her body, on her physical body. And but what was worse was because she wanted to find out from me, you know, sometimes as psychic mediums, let me tell you, we can't see our own stuff. We need another psychic medium to help us. All of a sudden, I block. I can't see things for me or my family because we are so close. I mean, I get my boy sometimes, Mom, can you do the reading for me? I'm like, no, go away.
Right.
Yeah. And so as soon as we walked in, I could feel like first of all, having the altar there, it was like an open portal. She was a portal herself. And in that video that you're going to watch, we've got my husband. It was my husband, myself, the team leader, and another two people. Like I said, the two people are now with the WLGH. And my husband is the IT guy. When we go to paranormal investigations, he's the one who sets up everything in every room, like the videos, the cameras, the EMFs, the EVPs. He makes sure that every room has a camera, has got all the equipment in there. So he had put the EMF on the table. And we were just watching the EMF and talking to the spirit. I was having communication with it. And I was asking it for a sign. And that EMF was on that table sitting there for at least 10, 15 minutes. No one was close to the table. You can see it in the video. No one's close to no one moved the table. And the dog that was in the house, she had it tied up. And all of a sudden, the doggy started barking. And then the EMF just goes boop and falls. And because the dog hadn't barked at all ever since we walked in. So it started barking at that point, and then the EMF falls, and then we've turned around, and that's where we saw the ectoplasm on the floor.
Oh wow. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip for everybody. Hopefully everybody sees it pretty good. I'm gonna do my best to maximize it to the screen where everybody can see it.
And there's subtitles in English too, so because it's in Greek, there's subtitles in English so people can read the subtitles as well.
Since you don't speak Greek fluently. All right. No worries. Here we go. All right. Let me hit play.
Το σκυλάκι το σου λέει κάποιος ποτέ, έτσι. Και μέσα ακούγεται τσίκι τσίκι. Ακούσε το μάτιο. Εδώ. Έχουμε την κάμερα, εντάξει. Το σκυλάκι θα τα δεις. Όχι, πέρασε. Έπεσε το βιβλίο, ρε. Το βιβλίο έπεσε. Το σκυλάκι το σου λέει κάποιος ποτέ, έτσι. Και μέσα ακούγεται τσίκι τσίκι.
That's the actual plasma on the floor.
Yep. I think that's the same video. The ectoplasma is in the second video I've sent you.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, I'll play that one next. Okay.
Okay.
So that was the first one where the EMF fell.
The EMF falling, and as you can see, there's one camera showing on the one side. My husband had set up the camera right in front of the EMF from a distance, right? And then there's camera 3 that's sitting on the bench where it's recording on the side.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and play the second one.
Okay.
And here we go. All right. I got to...
And that's my husband. He's explaining that it was in the same position as before. That's me.
Here we go. Hope everybody can everybody hear it?
Yeah, you can see it and hear it.
As you can see, you can't see it with a flashlight. There you go.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And we're just saying that he wasn't there when we came in before.
Right.
So my husband's there trying to he touched it and put it on his hand and smelt it and smelled off, and it was really gooey on his hand.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow.
You can
Yeah.
see it. I mean, there was
You
a
can
lot of
see
it.
Yeah.
It was like, it was a big amount.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And then when we sort of turned around, we left it there because we wanted to take a sample and things like that, it disappeared.
Mm.
And no one had mopped it, no one touched it, because we said, don't touch it, leave it as it is. And there's, if you in the video, I'm saying it's oil, and my husband's going, no, it's not oil, it's gooey. I said, it came from somewhere. I was actually debunking it.
Yeah.
I was debunking it, and then like at the end, I'm like, when he put it like that on him, and you could see that it was sticky, and it was smelly. I guess he smell it. I'm like, no.
Yeah, here, smell that so fast.
Something I would do. I'd be like, smell it.
Smell it. I said, no.
Yeah, she would totally be
Yeah, and
smelling that.
I'm not smelling that. And like in the video, we had to cut it off though. From when we did the editing, I was going, it's ectoplasma, and I'm like, I was actually asking myself, and we cut it off because a lot of people will not understand, and they would mock you even by just putting that bit in the video. A lot of people underneath in Greece in the comments, they wrote, oh, it's the urine from the dog, and I'm like, no, the dog was tied up ever since we walked in, and that's on the video as well, that the doggy has been tied up in the corner. So It wasn't, and we moved the stuff and everything, and there was nothing leaking from anywhere. And it wasn't there before, and it wasn't raining or anything, because we walked out. If you see the whole video, we've walked out and there's no water on the entrance. So just in case water came in, I debunked everything. We debunked everything, but no. And then when I said, just leave it until we get a sample of it, it had disappeared.
Yeah, I would have been like, can I have a stool sample?
Yeah, exactly.
Like Egon from Ghostbusters, when you walk.
Yeah.
I like collecting fungus, molds, and spores.
Exactly. But no, guys, it disappeared in seconds.
That's
Wow,
weird
that's
that it just
crazy.
Yeah,
disappeared.
yeah. It just disappeared. And like I said, don't mop it, don't touch it, leave it as it is. Let me just, grab. I was looking for like a little bag or something to you swipe it with, and I even asked for those ear things that you clean your ears, so I can just
Good tip.
grab it,
A swab, yeah.
and like it was gone,
Yeah.
just like that. As
Wow.
it came, it went, and
Oh.
that was.
What was that the same spot where the EMF fell, or was that a different location?
That was the EMF was at the dinner table at the front
Okay, on the
where
other
it fell, and that was right behind us.
Okay.
So as soon as we turned, we could hear her, the lady that called us. She was going, "There's something on the floor. There's something on the floor."
Mm-hmm.
And because she was right next to us, and as soon as she turned around, she goes, "There's something on the floor. There's something on the floor," and she goes, "They appear here and there all the time in my house." Because she was the portal. She was the vessel.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, that absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
And then when we went back to, because we usually go back to see if everything's okay, I told her a few things that she needed to do to cleanse, to ground, I even told her move, but it was her house, she couldn't move. Worst case scenario, I said move. She goes, "I can't move." But when we went back looking for her, we couldn't find her. She had moved.
oh wow,
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, sometimes like you kind of feel like you can help people, but you can only help them so much.
Yeah, that's true.
And then that's their home. They don't want to give up their home. Then I feel bad.
I know.
But hey, your team sounds great. They're very thorough as far as when you do an investigation. Documenting everything, you're debunking everything, and I think that's great.
Yeah, I think that's how every team should be. You should have your, have your psychic medium in there, but debunk a few things. It's not everything that goes bump is a ghost.
Right.
Yeah.
I know.
Yep.
A bump can scare the heck out of you at 3, 4 and you're tired, and you're sitting there, and all of a sudden you hear a big bang, and you're like, "What the hell was that?" That's happened to us many times.
True.
Oh, same here. It's because, let me tell you something. The house absorbs your energy, and it absorbs energies that people that have lived there before. So it's like it's absorbed everything in its walls.
Yeah.
So it's like it's alive.
Right.
So when you rest at night, the house starts resting as well.
Yeah.
So that's why you can hear.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I've been rambling on with all the questions.
Okay, you're fine. Go ahead.
I feel bad.
No. If I have something, I just chime in.
I know.
Don't worry about it.
No, I'm having a good time. I hope you are.
Yep.
I am, guys, definitely.
All right. If anybody has questions before we get too late to the show, we'll probably end this around 10ish. Closer to 10. Toward the end of the bottom of the show, I'm going to give Kathrine time to give any shout outs, public, events coming up, anything you want to share toward the end. But if anybody's got questions, please feel free. Again, I like to point out to our listeners, we can't hear ourselves live. If we do, we sound really bad. We get reverb and bad feedback. Let us know how the quality of the show is, video, audio-wise. Let us know. Message us if you can, if you don't mind. Let us know how everything sounds. I'm anal like that. So I just want to make sure that our guests are heard very well.
Guys, you sound excellent. I don't know to the rest of the people there.
Yeah, good. All right. One question I do have. How do you feel about crossing spirits over? Some mediums I know. Yeah. Every medium has their own personal beliefs about whether or not spirits should be crossed over. If you should remove a spirit a certain way. What's, if you don't mind sharing, or if you don't want to share, that's fine. But what's your belief about when helping a spirit that's restless that you think may need help crossing over? What's your thoughts on that?
Okay, a spirit to be wandering around, it's here for a reason. by my books, right? Sometimes it's because it hasn't realized that it's passed away, or it hasn't realized that it's dead. It takes 40 days for the soul, 50 days for the soul to transit, and it's in limbo between our world and another dimension, or their world, their heaven. So it takes quite a while. But for a soul, for a spirit or a ghost to stay back and haunt a place, it's because we all know it's because it's got unfinished business. It's died from a very bad death. It hasn't realized that it's gone away. I believe that in a home or a historical site, if they're not bothering you, don't bother them.
Good point.
Leave them. Yeah.
Leave them alone. Leave
Yeah.
them alone. Leave them be.
Yeah.
They were there first.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, one of my friends, Chip. I don't know if you know Psychic Medium Chip Coffee, but he would tell me, what do he say all the time? Don't poke the dragon. Why poke the dragon?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, they've been here for centuries and years and years and years before us, and we are invading their space.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I have a question. Do you believe that spirits can come to you in dreams?
Yes.
You're dreaming? Okay.
Yes, I do. I see. I've seen many times my parents have both passed away. I've seen them many times, and they usually come to pass on a message or to warn me about something. Because your dreaming state is just another reality. You're in another world. You're in their world. You're in the astral plane. So you're communicating with them. And that's the way when your mind is sleeping, because when you're awake, people say, why do you investigate at nighttime and not daytime? Okay, spirits are there on the daytime and nighttime as well. But what happens at nighttime? Nature sleeps, your mind sleeps, your conscious sleeps. So you're open to communicate better and to listen to them and to hear them.
Yeah.
So,
because I dream about my mom who passed every night.
Yeah.
Every single night. It's not like, once in a while she'll come to give me a message. She's there every night.
That's because you're abnormal. No, I'm kidding.
So maybe she's wanting something. Maybe she's got something unfinished, or she wants to tell you something, and she's trying to find a way to communicate with you. Have you actually asked her through your dream, Mum, what do you want? What is it?
Yeah, no, I haven't through the dream.
What about through meditation? Same thing. If you go through meditation, it's like being in a dream state, because you're down to your alpha, like your waves go down in your mind. So you can actually, your brain waves lower, so you can actually communicate with spirit when you're in a meditation state. It's like being in a trance state. When you're meditating, it's like being in a trance state. Okay. So you're open at that point to actually communicate with her, and it will be her coming through.
Oh, okay.
Okay, if you do your protection and your grounding and your cleansing, and ask for her, she will pass on the message. You'll be able to communicate. Or even another example you can do. Find a place where you feel comfortable, or a familiar place that you like to be with your mother.
Okay.
All right. And as soon as you find that beautiful place where you spent a lot of time with your mum, through your meditative state, feel yourself going into that place. Okay. And see yourself actually remote view yourself that you are at that place. Okay. And all of a sudden see a door forming and see your mother walking through that door. And as soon as she walks in, have a conversation with her. Ask her what she wants, why she's coming through her doors. As soon as you're done and you get your answers, see her open the door. You must see her open the door again, close the door. It's like a portal. That's your portal.
Okay, got you.
All right. You close your door. She closes the door. She goes into her dimension. You go into yours. And that's it.
Yeah.
Wow.
That does make sense. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Or-
Anytime, guys.
Yeah, no, that's great. She should, because like she said, she was always like dreaming of her like every night, and that's great that you could do that for her. I appreciate that. Yeah.
No. If you're seeing her in a dream state and she's not talking to you, you're just seeing her sitting there
Yeah.
and she's not communicating. That means you can't hear her in
Right.
in your dimension. So you might need to go into a neutral
Mm.
dimension to be able to communicate on both sides.
Right. And that also could also mean like she's shutting her abilities down a little bit, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because she's not tapping.
Yeah, exactly. Because she's got great abilities, but she's been putting them down since the age of 13, 14, which has caused her a lot of issues about going out and agoraphobia and panic attacks and things like that come and go here and there. Yep. So it's because your gifts are rising up again, honey, and you need to open up and receive your gifts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Receive your gifts.
Yes.
All right. We do have some questions in the chat, if you don't mind, if that's okay with our guest.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, great. Shanna M said and I'm sorry to hear this, Shanna, but her best friend passed away last Friday. How long should she wait to maybe reach out and get a medium to maybe give her a reading? Should she wait? Is there?
Yes, you always wait. You wait until they transit to the other side, because if you try to communicate now with them, it is very hard for them to be able to. They don't know where they are at the moment. They're in between both worlds. So if you try to communicate, you're going to confuse them, and you're going to pull them back. So it's best to talk, let those 40 days go past. Let those 50 days go past of them, the whole soul transiting to their dimension, or where they were supposed to go. So yeah, honey, wait 40 days at least.
Yeah. Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for answering her question.
That's okay.
Yeah. And Elaine Curtis says, so if
Elaine.
so if spirit aren't bothering anyone in a location, do you believe people should or should not try and cross them over, as this is something that's spoken a lot of, trying to help and cross over spirit as people believe they're trapped?
Okay. People believe they're trapped. The spirit doesn't believe it's trapped. So it's what we just said, Elaine, before, that don't poke the dragon. Leave them. Let them be. They will come to you and ask. If they can't go into their own, to that dimension, to their own world, they will ask for your help. Trust me.
Yes.
They will ask for it. They will come up and say, "Hey, help me. I need help. I've lost my way. Can you?" But most of them don't want to cross over. They're happy where they are.
Right.
If you're not bothering them, they won't bother you.
Right. Because my thing is, we don't know really what their unfinished business is.
Exactly.
So who's to say that it's up to us to try to make that
decision for them?
You're right. Exactly. That's right.
Yeah. Exactly. So you could have a soul that's been there for centuries and wants its revenge because its family got burnt. We had an example like that, and it wasn't moving. It didn't want to move until it got not its revenge, but to close the cycle, to be forgiven. Not him, but because they burnt his family, and there were white people that burnt his family, right? To offer him and asking for forgiveness for what that person's ancestors had done to his family. And as soon as that was done, and that spirit was there for centuries and he wouldn't budge, as soon as that was done, it left.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I do want to thank Wendy Conover to letting us know that the audio and video was great. Elaine also says show is great, guys. Sound is great, and the footage was very clear. So I'm great that they were able to watch and see everything good. I did a good job.
You did.
You did. Wendy.
All right. I'm going to give you the floor because I've been asking all the questions. So. Come on. Hey. You're the co-host. putting her on the spot.
Don't put me on the spot.
All right.
Go ahead. Ask whatever you like, honey.
Go ahead. Ask her anything.
So, okay. So I have been getting back into the reading tarot cards.
Mm-hmm.
Done that before. So what is your take on tarot cards? Do you read tarot cards? Do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
So they're not a bad thing?
And I was thinking, oh, it was a bad thing. Maybe I should.
How many do you want? How many do you want? I've got plenty. I've got about 40 here.
Oh, all right. Good. No, that makes me feel better.
Yeah, no.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
picking it up back
I
up again. And
Mm-hmm.
she always wanted to know, is it ever a good thing, a bad thing?
Because I used to do it, and I was pretty good at it. And, then I said, I put it away for a long time. And then I just had a calling again to buy them. And, because I guess I had gotten rid of my deck that I had. And
No. It's like with the normal playing cards. People like gypsies use the normal playing cards to do readings, right?
Mhm.
So it's exactly the same. Like the spades are the I think it's the swords. The hearts are the diamonds. So it's exactly the same. The only thing different is the 22 cards in the major arcana.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's the only difference. Okay. Now it's good though, because if you're overusing them to do readings, it's good to have a few around.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you give time for the one deck to rest, to cleanse it, to take it out in the moonlight, to discharge it, cleanse it, put it on the side for about 15, 20 days, 21 days, use the other deck.
Okay.
And vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
And just keep on using them and just exchanging them around. And you'll find there's nothing wrong with reading tarot cards. Yeah, no.
Right.
Good.
What's your advice to those who want to tap more into their gift? Like if they find out that at a young age that they have the abilities and they want to progress further when they get older, what would you recommend somebody at a young age to an adult? What kind of path should they take? What kind of courses do you recommend? If there's any kind of teachings or mentors that you recommend anybody to learn from?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's for me, the way I did it personally, I would say read. Keep on reading a lot of books. Don't go on the internet and start downloading this and this and this and this. I mean, information on the internet is all over the place. I'm not saying don't go, but don't grab bits and pieces. Watch podcasts like these, where you're going to learn from these people and you're going to be taught from these people. Find a teacher that you feel comfortable with, that you feel that your energy is bonding, that there's a flow of energy to be able to teach you how to meditate. Even meditation, you can start off with the most simplest thing, meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And simple meditations on how to ground yourself and cleanse yourself, how to open up your chakras, how to get in touch with your spirit guide or your guardian angel, whatever you believe in, how to get in touch with your ascending masters, the teachers, with your ancestors, receive the gifts from what they're giving you. And say thank you. Other meditations on how to connect with the elements around the world, with the elements that are in our world.
Right.
And just meditation will open you up.
Cool.
So that's the best way to get in touch with your spirit guides is through a meditation?
Yeah.
Through meditation. Even if you do 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, close your eyes. It doesn't matter if you don't see anything at the beginning. That's fine. Don't get disappointed. Like there's a lot of people because I used to teach meditation classes in Greece and Australia. I haven't now, due to the COVID lockdown, I haven't done many here.
Right.
So I always told my students that close your eyes. It doesn't matter if you don't see the white light coming through. It doesn't matter if you don't see the colors in the chakra coming out. Doesn't matter. It's still happening. Some people don't have good visual. That's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
It's still happening. You're still doing it.
Mm.
So start like 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes.
10 minutes, 10 minutes. Don't overtire yourself. Don't go in there and go, oh, okay, I'm going to do an hour of meditation. No, you're going to kill yourself. Like, start off slowly. It's like doing exercise, like doing sit-ups, okay? Do 10, do 15, do 20. It's exactly the same. Do 10 minutes. Yep.
Yeah,
slowly.
Yeah. You don't want to open yourself to become vulnerable when you're weak.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Exactly. Always ground yourself, cleanse yourself, and like grounding. For instance, when I go into investigations, right? Okay.
Right.
Now, and I walk into a place where the energy is so all over the place. It might be really low frequency or high frequency. And after the investigation, I might feel like I'm not walking on ground, like I'm levitating.
Okay.
What grounds you? You can't be able to sit there and do a meditation. What grounds you? Sugar. Pop a gummy bear.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Pop a gummy bear in your mouth, 1 or 2 gummy bears, and all of a sudden you feel because sugar grounds you, and all of a sudden you feel yourself grounded straight away.
I'm giving her a look.
strings.
I'm giving her a look because she's diabetic.
Well, yeah. And I'm like, oh, I can have sugar.
she's like, I can have gummy bears.
One. Just one.
But Matt likes to bring they're like gummy peach rings.
You know those like the peach rings with the sugar
investigations.
on them?
Yeah.
On
Is that like 2 or 3 in the morning? You get the munchies and I'm like I gotta get my energy going
and that's it. That's what it is. You're actually subconsciously grounding yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Without even knowing it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's true. That's great.
Yeah, that's great.
That's all good. No.
What is one of your most favorite parts of a paranormal investigation, since you go out with the team, when you're with your team, whether it be using your abilities or not using your abilities, what's your favorite part of doing an investigation?
Okay. Now, like I said, I'm no longer with that team anymore after leaving from Greece. I'm now representing Riverside, Iowa Paranormal for Michelle here in the UK and Europe. So I haven't been out for an investigation because of the lockdown and all that for about 3 years, guys. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, 3 years.
We used to do like mobile EVP sessions virtually,
like Zoom
with our friends.
Zoom radio sessions and stuff.
Awesome.
It wasn't the same, but heck, it works. It
does. It does. It's what we said with the WLGH. Like, there's going to be a lot of teams. Well, the world's largest ghost hunt. There's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be in Europe and the UK, right? And because of the COVID lockdown, they might not be able to go to the field, or they might not be able to go to a historical site. So I'm encouraging them, because I'm actually on the metaphysical committee as well as a chair. So I'm encouraging them as a psychic. You don't have to be on a field to do an investigation. If spirit wants to talk to you and communicate, it can communicate. You can do it in your backyard, you can do it in your balcony, you can do it in your house. And people are like, but some people were like wondering, but once you pick up a spirit, when you go to an investigation, don't you pick up a spirit? So it's exactly the same thing.
Right.
You communicate.
Right.
So you're not sorry?
No, I agree with that 100%. I've always talked to my friends about that, because I always say you don't necessarily have to be in a haunted location. If a spirit's going to come through, it's going to come through.
I always say that. Say I can get you an EVP anywhere. You know.
Exactly. I love EVPs. When I'm in investigation, I like to when in the investigation, I get I'm okay when I get a response back. When I hear something through the microphone, or through the EVP, or when I see the camera zooming in and out or moving up and down, I know that there's spirit there, and that's my satisfaction of actually communicating and talking to them. And the EVPs, I love EVPs because
Me too.
when I do like after we finished, when we used to finish and go and do the editing, they used to put me to listen to the EVP sessions, and I used to pick up like exactly what might have been said, not exactly, but what I thought would have been said. So and then we'll sit all around and write down what we each thought the EVP was saying. So there were a lot of times that we were getting the similar words or the similar feedback from the EVP, which is awesome. That's what I like. And what I like about the investigations, to me personally, when I have closure, when I know that I'm leaving from that place, I know what's there, and I was able to help. If I was going to a private investigation, I was able to help the family.
Nice. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
One thing in the chat, somebody said, I think Jenny Sullivan mentioned you're actually going to be visiting Leap Castle, which is very cool.
Yes. She's it's in August.
Okay.
August, yep. So she's organizing it for Leap Castle, and I will be visiting with them and staying the night there.
Oh wow!
Nice. That's a very well known haunt. Yep.
Yeah, it is, and I'm going to be with Jen and Elaine.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you have anything on your bucket list that you wish to do before it becomes too late to do them?
Okay, I would like to visit America and visit all your haunted places. Not all of them, because I won't be able to, but visit your haunted places, guys, to actually feel. Because the thing is, in Scotland, despite the fact that they say Scotland is haunted, there's a lot of haunted places and ghosts and things like that. The earth feels dead. There's death there's no energy on this earth. Maybe because it was under oppression for so many centuries. You walk upon this earth, I mean, it's green, it's beautiful, and you walk upon the earth and you feel death around you. So there's no energy around here. So I really want to feel that surge of energy again. So, and you guys have heard so many things over there that you get apparitions, you get manifestations, you get this, you get that.
We get all kinds of.
Yeah.
We have a can of worms over here. Yeah.
I want to open that can of worms.
Well, you're welcome to come to our locations. Anytime you're over here, you got an open invitation.
Definitely.
Oh, great! Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
I love to visit. I would hopefully soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of my bucket lists is going over to your area, and my dream is to actually investigate somewhere over there, because my heritage comes from I'm actually Irish and German. I want to visit Ireland.
Oh.
And I want to visit Germany. Is on my bucket list before I get too old.
And Germany will be, because I've heard from a lot of people, Auschwitz. It is the most haunted, creepiest place. That's one of the places I would love to visit as well.
Yeah.
Even people who don't have any gifts or they haven't developed the gifts, they actually feel and hear things. So yeah, put that first list on your bucket list.
I will. So we're at the bottom of the show. I want to give this moment for you, give you the floor. What you want to, any shout outs to any individuals you want to promote. This is your moment to give anybody a plug, what you got coming up. This is your moment.
Okay. Now, the only thing I've got coming up is the WLGH, the world's largest ghost hunt, because fingers crossed, I will be at the center in Delaware.
Oh, wow.
With Wendy.
Nice.
Michelle and Brian Cano.
Nice.
So hopefully I'll be able to, there won't be any restrictions, and I will be able to be out there and really push out, because what we're going to be doing in the world's largest ghost hunt this year is actually communicate CE5 which
Oh, wow.
is we're putting that. So it's encounters with the fifth dimension.
Mm.
So actually, which means close encounters with the fifth dimension is actually welcoming them to come in touch with us. You know how you welcome spirit or your spirit guides to come in touch with you? It's exactly with those beings, with those entities, with those you want to call them extraterrestrials, call them whatever you want. It's in actually welcoming them to come in touch with you. And hopefully within that center, we'll be able to push it out a lot. So I can't wait. Yeah. I think that's the only thing that I've got going here in Scotland. Not much.
I wish I could hang out with you guys for that night, but I'll be at our location for
I know you're on that night too.
Yeah, so we got Kingsland Manor. We should do an experiment. I should get in touch with Brian, and we should do a secret word. And if we're doing ITC or anything, we should come up with a secret word and store that. See if it comes up at both locations.
At the EVP sessions, yeah. That's a good idea. I think we're doing the bridge. We are doing again because I not rewrote it, but I enhanced the bridge experiment, which is going to come out to all the teams. And I added a few more things on there, and I've shared it with Brian and the rest of the team there, and he's going to add a few more things in there that needs to be done. And then that bridge experiment is going out to all the teams.
Nice. That's awesome. It's going to be
good.
No, we're going to be good because if fingers crossed, it's going to be me, Michelle Roos, which is Riverside, Iowa Paranormal, and EVP New Jersey, which is Wendy.
Yep, Wendy. Yep. Cool.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yep. So it's going to be good.
How can people reach out to you? Do you have a website?
They can find me either through Facebook on my profile or through my page on Facebook, Oracle Whispers by Kathrine Sorilos. And if they've got anything with the paranormal, any issues, they can find me on Riverside, Iowa Paranormal as well. So, yeah.
Great. So, I hope everybody enjoyed our guest tonight. I know we did. I hope you had fun. We did.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah. Gotta do it. We gotta do it again.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But stay on the line. I'm gonna minimize. We'll say goodbye to our audience, and then we'll say our goodbyes privately after we,
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight.
Yes. Thank you to our listeners. We're gonna say goodbye to Kathrine after this, so we'll minimize her. And here we go. All right. So, guys, and once again, I want to shout out to Candy and Derek Slater for being our guests last week on Uncharted Conversations.
Do you want to tell everybody who we're having next week?
Yes. Next week, we have Michelle Roos from Riverside, Iowa Paranormal is going to be on our show next week. June 9th, I think, is next Wednesday, if I have that date correctly. Right? I'm going to look at my calendar, make sure I have that right. I believe it's June 9th. Yes, June 9th.
June 9th.
All right, I was right. I have to look at my calendar because my calendar is... All right, so next week, Michelle Roos, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And I promise you guys on the East Coast, you will be up as late. Thank you, all the overseas people that tuned in tonight to our show. I really appreciate it. Guys, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the show. Tune in every week. Each month we're going to have a different topic and have guests each week, or we're going to try to have guests anyway. But I'm going to play our video here at the end, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Have a great night and enjoy the rest of your week.